Hey, welcome back to Sierra Rec Now podcast, where we dive into the stories that shape the adventures of Sierra Nevada. We're talking places, we're talking people, and often we're talking the tech that makes our adventures even better, I should say. Today, we're talking power. Now, I'm talking about the kind of power that keeps overlanding, RV, off-road base camps all powered up in the mountains when you're going to the Sierra. Whether you're heading into, Sonora Pass and you're going into Kennedy Meadows, or you're heading down the Eastern Sierra and you're off-roading out in the desert there. Power is something that we're always talking about. How do we keep our gadgets and gizmos and everything we want to take with us powered up? So our guest today is a partner that has actually been recommended to us by one of our readers. So thank you very much for making the comment. But it's Dragonfly Energy. They're a Reno-based manufacturer. They're known for a Bourns battery brand. You probably know it if you have an RV. You probably know it if you've been in marine world or been off-road and you know this name. I have Jesse Asay, I said it right, Jesse, with us today. He's one of the technicians at the company. Going to help us dive into some of their Dragonfly Intelligence, their monitoring system, why it's important, and how we can use it in the Sierra to have just awesome adventures. So stick around today. Let's talk power together. Jesse, how's things going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We had a great day here in the Carson Valley. It's blue skies. Just got back from Yosemite doing some backpacking trip, and I am a complete novice in what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to lean on you heavy, okay, for technology,
Sure.
because my mom and dad, they do the power system in their RV when they travel and go outdoors. My dad's kind of an off-grid dude, but I am not that dude. So this can be all kind of new for me. Is it okay?
Yeah, definitely. No problem. We'll answer any questions. We'll get you kind of familiar with what we do and why we do it.
Awesome. Well, many of our listeners are coming to the Sierra to play. They go in deep and they usually go hard, right? So we got both boaters and RVs coming to Lake Tahoe or Mammoth or Eastern Sierra. When we're talking about Bourns and Dragonfly Energy, maybe let you start there. We're talking about this off-road community, or this adventure vehicle community, if you will. Where do you guys come in usually in the conversation with these guys? Where do you fit for most average adventure explorers? So
Yeah, good question. So traditionally in the past, there has been a ton of enthusiasts either RVing or van lifing or overlanding, and you got to have some sort of power need usually, that you need to fulfill, and it's traditionally been fulfilled by lead acid style batteries. Like in your car, you've got the kind of corroded batteries that you got to put water in and all this other stuff, and a lot of people will want some of the conveniences like running a kettle or some lights and everything more than just using their standard old batteries. And so for a very long time, that lead acid technology has been in place and it's been problematic. Well,
okay.
We are a lithium battery manufacturer right here out of Reno, Nevada. And the battery technology with lithium now allows you to do things that you previously couldn't do, like running an inverter off of a battery to be able to run like a microwave, or if you're in an RV and you want to run your air conditioner, or you want some of the conveniences of being able to plug in an appliance without a generator running, or if you don't want to be plugged into shore power. There's so many camping sort of situations that don't allow you to have a plug-in, and you don't want to crank a generator up to have power. So lithium has become a very viable solution for a lot of those. It just kind of enhances the way that you camp, being able to charge it quickly with various different methods like solar. It's just changed the way a lot of people will go out and camp.
So do you guys provide the solar solution too? Are you like a nuts and bolts A to Z solution on there? Oh, I started before Tyler. Tyler just showed up. How you doing, Tyler?
Good. Party started without me, huh?
Hey, I did. I just kind of figured to be one guy today. I'm going to get back to questions in a minute. I want to introduce Tyler. Tyler's the guy I talked to get this all set up. And Jesse was here, so I said, hey, let's go. And our guests are, listening in as we speak. But welcome to the show. We're just in our second question, so I'll bring you in here in just a second. Okay, Tyler?
No worries.
Very good. And if I need to do editing on this, guys, don't worry. We edit this a little bit too, but we're good to go there. So I was going to bring a point, but so you guys are kind of A to Z, nuts and bolts. You'll provide the power supply. You got the inverters, and then the entire lithium system. So when I think about that, I think about going down to Mammoth, for example, and all the dispersed camping that's available outside of Mammoth, not in a campground, you may run a generator, but most of the time, like I don't really care for a generator out in the noise. You're out there listening to chipmunks and birds. You don't want to hear a big generator in the background, right? So going out there and setting up your whole unit with, solar system to the inverter to the power supply, and then they can run all their modern conveniences. Am I in the right bucket there?
Yeah. There, it just makes it so much more convenient. And like you were saying before Tyler came on, do we do more than batteries? Is it like a solar solution and other components? Yeah. And yeah, we found over the years, with this technology making batteries, you can not only have a better power solution, but everybody wants a way to charge their batteries quickly, be able to be kind of sustainable, to put more in than you're taking out, to be able to run the inverters and all the other components necessary to go dispersed or off-grid camping. And we've learned that some components work really well, and we offer those now as well. So not just the battery manufacturing, but also offering components that are associated with it. So we can develop a whole system for you guys. Somebody wants to go camping and wants modern conveniences, we'll size out the system for you. We'll say, this is how much battery bank you need to do what you want to do. These are the components that will charge it effectively. This is how big your solar array needs to be for you to do it. At the end of the day, what you want is before you go to bed to have a full battery. When you wake up and have used some of that battery bank with solar to be able to charge it quickly, and then you're fully sustainable. You don't have to worry about running a generator or plugging in. So these types of systems we go over daily with people.
I like what you said there. I know that we're in a generation now where these adventure vehicles that people are building out of vans and trucks, and so many customizations that they're adding to their vehicle to their own taste, which is great, right? If somebody wants a microwave, great. If somebody wants to put in a hot tub outside, out there, it seems like that's what they're doing, right? Whatever their modern convenience. I'm a shower guy. Just give me that shower. That'd be really nice. But I can imagine that's got to be quite fun for you guys to customize some of these vehicles out, or these specs, as they're trying to give you their lifestyle that they want to experience while they're driving down 395 and going off in Death Valley for a week of off-roading or whatever they're going to be doing, right? So
we get so many people, and it varies, like you were saying, so much. You'll get a guy with a Toyota 4Runner and he's like, hey, I got a little fridge freezer in the back and I want to be able to power this. What do I need?
Yep.
All the way up to a Class A motorhome, and the people will say, hey, I'm going off-grid camping forever. This is my full-time lifestyle now. Yeah. I don't want to have to be able to run my generator. Can you build me a system, or can you help me design a system? And from the smallest to the largest, yeah, we can do that. Not only, again, do we have the batteries necessary to make these things work, but all the other components that you're going to need in order to fit your lifestyle.
Well, I think some people get surprised by that too. When we're at trade shows talking to customers and they come up and they're like, oh, I want to go to lithium. I think it'll be great, but I can't run the AC. And it's like, well, yeah, you can. You can run. You can't. We have people who are running 3 ACs. Now you have to size your battery bank appropriately to get there. But we've done that. We've done jacuzzis in the middle of the desert. Like it's the way we live now. We have all these modern luxuries. So if you just want these small systems and have your coffee in the morning without the sound of a generator, awesome. But you want to go big and crazy, like you can do that now. And that opens up so many possibilities of how we outdoor, quote unquote.
That is really, I'm sitting here with a mind twist going in my mind, guys. I'm a hammock camper. I don't start fires in the wilderness. I'm just bare bones, as light as I can. And then I know this group of people that they want to go in the woods and experience the luxuries of life in the prettiest places they can, right? They get to experience this world. And so this is really kind of cool that you guys are offering that. Do you work with other dealerships, or does everybody need to come to Reno to get this fitted in your shop? Are you guys is it Reno's the home base, or do you guys have other outfits that put these together for you throughout the Sierra and California, for example?
We have a wide network of dealers that we partner with all over the country. We don't have like an install facility here where we do all this. We're concentrating on manufacturing the batteries and offering the right components to everybody.
Okay.
But if you look at every state, even down up in Canada and all throughout the world, we have our batteries out there.
Yep.
We have specific dealers that we partner with that are really good at sizing these things and installing and being more of a professional in that whole system integration. So yeah, there's tons of them out there. If you if you call in and you're like, hey, I'm over in Tennessee and I want to get your batteries and maybe some other stuff put in. We're like, all right, we'll go to this guy. We've partnered with him. They know what they're doing. Or if people want to do it themselves, a lot of people will say, look, I've spent 40 hours on YouTube and I want to install my own system. This is what I want to do. We say, okay, we got you covered. Let's size this thing out, and then you can install it yourself. And if you do need help, anywhere, we can get you that as well.
Can do that as well.
You're also seeing, more and more, of the actual like vehicle manufacturers integrating these, lithium solar systems into their rigs too, especially on the RV side. A lot are just doing standard from the factory, or you can add your optional package there. We've got customers like Airstream who now puts Battleborn batteries on almost every rig that they make, and some of their top sellers are the ones with the biggest power systems.
Okay.
So it really is, you're seeing more and more embrace this. We have nearly 500,000 batteries in the field now.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Yeah.
Right here in Reno. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the severity of weather, right? So I'm thinking about the Sierra, and we got Death Valley, which I call part of the Sierra. It's kind of part of our network, right? So you got the hottest place on earth, if you will. And then we've got all the extremes of some of the coldest winter mountain spots that these, people will, I'll see RV units up at Blue Lakes Highway, with the snowmobile trailers, and they'll stay up there for weeks, right? So there are all these extreme temperatures. How hard is that for you as a manufacturer to help somebody tailor their system? And then I know that cold really zaps my batteries, so when I go out, just for my camera batteries, the cold just zaps. And so how does weather affect how you guys set them up? Is lithium way better at that? I mean, I don't, I'm saying my novice here a little bit.
No, that's a good question, because there's various different ranges of customers that use batteries in tons of different climates. Back in the day, we didn't have any kind of internal heating on our batteries. It was an external wrap for these cold conditions. Now we have an internally heated version of our batteries. So if you want to go to a ski resort and still be able to charge your batteries, if you have some crazy habits during winter where you're out there in freezing temperatures, the batteries can still be charged. Lithium works so much better in cold weather than a traditional lead acid style battery.
Okay.
And inherently everything about it is better. It doesn't like to be charged in cold, so we developed that technology, and now it will self-heat, and you can use it. When it comes to extreme temperatures like heat, it will take 135, 140 degrees internally inside that battery for the intelligence system inside, the BMS, to say, this really isn't good for us, we're going to shut down. So the usability is really great, down to -4 internally in the battery, all the way up to about 140 degrees. So that variability makes it usable in a ton of different climates.
That's great. Again, I'm not knowing batteries myself, that just sounds like something if I was going to be setting up my RV or my trailer and going, especially in the Sierra with temperatures. As we're in the fall season, we'll start having these massive swings of temperature during the day, right? 85 to 25. And I always think about that with battery control. How do you keep the longevity overnight, or how do you keep it energized? My dad does that. He goes up in the Trinity Mountains. He's a hobby gold minist, but he'll spend 14 days in the Trinity Mountains at his gold mine, and his horse trailer that he turned into his own little mini RV. Solar panels out. I don't even know what system he's using. Maybe he's using your guys's. I should have called him. But I mean, that's kind of what he's doing, right? That's to live the lifestyle he wants to live. He has to have power, and that's kind of where it comes into fruition without completely being so rugged. But so that's pretty cool. Is the I don't know if you mentioned Dragonfly Intelligence in that, or if I just wrote that down. I apologize. I'm reading some notes here, but the Dragonfly Intelligence. What kind of safety alerts are in that? Like you said, when you got the temperature goes up, it turns itself off. As an owner, how do they know that? Is there systems set up for safety for them so that that's easy to learn?
Yeah. So when we're talking about intelligence, let's talk about there's two different sides. Intelligence meaning our smart battery version, which allows you to see everything internally, all sorts of really cool stuff with that. But when we're talking about the intelligence within the battery, we've tried to put in some safety measures so that you have a really hard time breaking your battery.
Okay.
If you get too hot, if you get too cold, the batteries will shut down. And the intelligence and the logic in them means if you get like a short circuit or you put too much of something in, if you overvolt the system on accident or you touch the wires together, traditionally these are things that can break a lead acid style battery and just completely annihilate it. I don't know if anybody's ever dropped a wrench on the connected the positive to the negative when they're wrenching on their battery, but you're going to arc and weld that thing together and everybody loses their mind and gets a sledgehammer. So if that happens with our batteries, it shuts down and nothing gets harmed, right? Tons of safety mechanisms within the battery. So that's the intelligence or the logic. So high voltage, low voltage, temperature, all sorts of stuff in there to mitigate anything you can do to try and damage it.
Awesome.
So that side of it, BMS, battery management system, is internal in each one of our batteries.
Okay.
So every one of them that you buy is going to have those same protections to protect your investment in these batteries. On the other side of it, when you're talking intelligence or smart batteries, we've come up with some really cool technology to where you can communicate with the battery via our app. We've put a really strong communication network and a hub, an external hub as well. So if you open up the Battleborn app and you have an intelligence battery, you can see the voltage, the state of charge, how much power is going in, all the details that you wish you knew about any other battery that you had. You can say, oh,
instead of
this
guessing,
is how healthy it is.
I like it.
or this is like a, something that needs to be addressed. I need to charge this. And piggybacking on that, every battery that we sell intelligence has can have the external hub, one hub for a battery system. So one battery, 5 batteries, a bunch of batteries all together, they will wirelessly connect. This wireless mesh technology will integrate into the hub and aggregate all the data from each battery into one super accurate state of charge. And it becomes really useful. There's all sorts of protocols in the industry for communication with RV manufacturers, communicating with other devices. So this hub will plug in and communicate with some of the other devices. We're constantly working on that to be integrated into like some of the other components and everything. So
that's awesome.
Custom alerts in the future, internet capabilities to do historical data. So, you can get really deep into this technology.
Yeah.
You can really just say, I want a simple system, or if you want to see everything and really get technical, we can make you a really amazing system that will rival anything out there easily.
Awesome. Let's transition, Tyler, and you might jump in here a little bit too. These guys, there's got to be some crazy RV stories or customers that you've helped out that just wanted something that was like, over the moon, or maybe a piece of product going, that piece of product, you don't understand how much power that's going to suck, and you're going to need this. Give me some crazy feedback stories from customers. Our readers might go, oh, I've heard that before, or watch out for that.
Well, it is, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. Like, once people realize what they can do, you've always got the people that want to try to, push that to the ultimate limits in it, right? And I think with RVs, they get really unique with it because you still have like weight considerations. So like with lithium, it's a huge weight savings. We're nearly a fifth for the same amount of usable power, but the more batteries you put in there, you are adding weight to your packages. But we've seen some pretty wild systems out there. It's like I've seen people with wine fridges, with espresso machines, like full on. There was one guy that called his rig the Death Star, and they'd go out to the middle of the desert to like Tonopah area and bring out like just an entire trailer of all these like telescopes to look at the stars. But they're not they're not roughing it out there, right? Like they've got full heaters going and TVs inside, and it's just like, I know it's another world. And then I look at beyond RVing. There's a place up in the Sierras, just not an hour or two from Reno, where he's got 64 of our Battleborn GC3 batteries. Each one of those batteries is 270 amp hours at 12 volts of power. And so it's built it into a 48 volt system, but like this guy, like not grid tied at all. He's got a jacuzzi. He has heated flooring out there. Like he's got a yoga studio. Like it's just like didn't hold back.
Yeah, it didn't hold back. That's something. I can just imagine now somebody with a jacuzzi, their wine fridge, and a big screen TV mounted in the back of the RV, hanging out in Death Valley watching the stars at night. Sounds like a pretty good life to me.
Yeah, yeah,
We
absolutely.
powered tons of weird applications. I mean, I helped design a system that was a mobile concert station, right? Or
Okay.
the side of the RV flips out, and the entire sound system and everything, all the lighting was powered by Battleborn batteries and inverters and
Awesome.
solar and everything. And it's so funny. The applications, they're endless. We've had people like a Tesla owner, like, okay, I want to be able to charge my Tesla off of your batteries and a solar system and everything.
Wow.
Should I just put it on the top of my car? And I'm like, hold on a minute, you're going to need a whole lot more than that. So it's really interesting what we get asked about. There are people with solar farms. There's people with grow industries and agricultural, and there's machines that run off of our batteries, the industrial side of it. There's so many various applications. Every week I'm surprised by some of the things that people ask that they want to power.
That's great. I feel like we've talked a lot about how large we can make this. What's the smallest battery you guys are making? I mean, what's the consumer model size, if you will?
Well, the smallest is kind of like what we started with. I mean, our flagship is our BB 112, which is kind of between a Group 27, Group 31 size, and that's what most people know for their typical, RV deep cycle battery. And we go a little smaller than that too, but like a lot of people, you have the people that want to go off grid, boondock, do all these exciting things. You have other people that still share some of those same battery anxieties, even if they're mostly plugged in at campgrounds,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things that you can run into issues, whether it's the campground being full or there's not enough plug-in spots, or you're just going between locations. And we've had people where they're like, oh no, we plug in every night, but then their fridge will die, on these long drive days because they don't realize their batteries are just completely toast. So even that single battery upgrade from like that traditional lead acid battery to these, newer lithium offerings can really help. I mean, we've seen just your normal RV setup, with a lead acid battery, when that capacity starts getting down, your performance really starts to fail too. So now all of a sudden your fans aren't spinning as fast and your lights are getting a little dimmer. You've getting these like low voltage alarms. Like even with just like one or two batteries, like you're eliminating that stuff too. So there are benefits on like each side of the spectrum for sure.
So let's talk about that real quick here, and to maybe give you an opportunity to just kind of spin a sales pitch, if you will, for elevator pitch. What would you say to an RVer or an overlander out there who's not using lithium batteries right now? They're still maybe a little older state system. What the advantages of switching to a lithium based model, whether it be Battleborn or whatever competitors out in the world there? What would be the advantage for them to do that? What should they be looking for?
You go ahead, Jesse. You're the sales guy. I'll let you take the sales pitch.
That's a question we answer like every day.
Yeah.
What's the advantage of lithium over this other stuff? And I mean, there's so many benefits. If you look at, like Tyler was saying, the weight saving benefits. If you look at how much faster you can inherently charge lithium, if you look at the compatibility with other chargers, if you look at what you can do, which you couldn't with lead acid before, like air conditioners, for instance, you never used to be able to do that. It just makes everything more convenient and reliable. You're out there typically to enjoy nature, to enjoy where you're at, and you don't want to hear a generator running.
Exactly.
You don't want to be worrying about your batteries. You don't want to look at your battery compartment and see a bunch of corrosion on the terminals and worry about off-gassing. That completely goes away when you have Battleborn. It makes everything a little bit more convenient and easy, and you want to kind of set it and forget it and not worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
When we set up these systems, I mean, they last for 15 years plus. A
Nice.
lead acid battery, every couple seasons, you're not only checking on them and maintaining them, but they go bad very quickly. So it takes away that battery anxiety and just makes everything, it's one less thing you have to worry about, and it gives you a lot more options to do what you want to do.
Great.
Yeah, and I'd add in, I'd almost simplify it even more too. Like when we go to like adventure outdoors, right? And really like see these things. Like you shouldn't be worrying about your battery at the end of the day. Like I think for us, like success is if you're not thinking about your battery system anymore. Like I think something a lot of people that RV specifically can relate to is, you know, you're cooking or doing something and your wife pokes her head out and says, "Hey, can I turn the hair dryer on? Or can I turn the coffee pot on?" The fact that you have to ask that like alone is just silly. So let's get back to like build this cool system. You're excited about it, but then just enjoy the outdoors. That's what you're meant to do. So to me,
You're thinking one of those notes that I always think about when I look at the adventure vans. Is like, if they build those adventure vans, some of these guys are spending a lot of money in those adventure vans, right? And they want to hit the trail on their bike and not return until night, and then know everything's going to work so they can have a hot dinner and take a quick shower, right? They don't want to be in the woods working on their trailer or working on their boat like guys that launch their boat at a dock and work on their boat for 3 hours before they can go skiing, right? They want to play, go to bed, eat food, enjoy a nice night campfire. No tech out there, right? So I completely understand that completely. Hey guys, Tyler, you showed up late, so I do apologize, but we're at 27 minutes, so I need to real quick run a sponsor promo for you. And then I have 3 questions about your personal outdoor life. I got to ask all my guests. They're real simple about where you're going and what you're eating and you know what's your favorite gear. So prepare for that for a minute. And in the meantime, just want to talk to all my listeners out there. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this show has been awesome. We've been talking power all day and off-roading. If you love off-roading, tell us your spots down below. We need to know where to go off-roading. What kind of batteries are you using? What kind of gizmos do you like to run? But we can't do anything without our friends at Carson Valley, our sponsors here to the show. And here's a little bit pre-roll. And we have hundreds of miles of BLM roads outside the Carson Valley. So guys that are off-roading, overlanding, they love it out back in our BLM country, and power supplies would be great to have back there, that's for certain. So guys, this has been a fun show for me. So much education, and some of it was way over my head, I'll be honest with you, but it was great to talk to you. It really jacks me up when listeners are, hey, you need to talk to this company. I think that's really cool. So thanks for joining us today. So here's my 3 questions. You can both answer them. We'll take time to let you both answer them. First one is, let's pretend your bag is packed behind you and you're heading off for a week in the Sierra to play wherever you want to go play. Where are you going and why?
I'm going to June Lake.
Very nice
just
choice.
Before I take a few days more and go over to Yosemite. Yep. So it's hard to get a spot in Yosemite a lot of times. I love backpack camping and everything, but you know, I take my little RV because I got my wife and my 2 little girls. And so we go to June Lake, and it's just a little wonderland back there.
That is. June Lake's a nice
spot for now.
You don't tell your favorite spot, but June Lake works. That June Lake's a great spot, and it's only 10 minutes from Tioga Pass, and you're in eastern, the east side of Yosemite. No problem at all. How about you, Tyler?
For me, I'd go the other direction. I'm a big hiker. That's what I like to do. So I'd go up to Gray Eagle, where you can drive 10 minutes in every direction and do a brand new hike every single day that you're camping up there.
Can't go wrong in the basin there, right? Lakes Basin and Gray Eagle. That's some fun country, definitely. So I like that very much. All right. After a big day of hiking, I'm a food craver. Hiker hunger is real to me. I need a big cheeseburger and milkshake. What's your go-to meal after a day of venture in the mountains?
Man, that varies quite a bit depending, because okay. I got my family with me, and if I want a bowl of spaghetti and they don't want it, I'm not making spaghetti.
Right.
So I think if I have my choice, I'm gonna boil up some noodles and some pasta or something like that.
Okay.
If my girls have their choice, I can run the microwave and put some mac and cheese in there for them or something.
Nice, because you have your battery system. I like it. Tyler?
Oh, I think for me, I'd actually go out of the food category, and after a hot day out in the sun all day, an ice cold beer is my meal.
There you go. I'm gonna put you on the spot there. Let's call out a brewery. What's your favorite? If you're in Gray Eagle, I've got a brewery on mine. What's your brewery spot?
I go there every time. I go there every time I'm I'm up there. I like to mix it up. I don't know if I have one
Okay.
favorite spot, but I like the locals for sure.
Very good. Big fan of Brewers Lair myself up there. So, all right, finally, guys, we're all gearheads in some way. So when we go outdoors, there's a piece of gear we never leave home without. You guys may be a battery, I don't know, but what is your go-to piece of gear you never leave home without if you're heading into the mountains?
My
They're not
phone.
supposed to be hard questions here.
Yes, Matt. Because I do so much RV trailer camping, I never leave home without my power system. I know it sounds kind of weird, but
No, that's 100%.
I have my family with me, and they want to be able to turn on the television and watch a video before they go to sleep. I always check my batteries, my inverter, I clean off my solar panels before I go. That's like the number one thing, because if they're not happy, I ain't happy.
There you go.
And even though we're outside and we're having fun, when we come back, that's what they want to do. So I make sure that my power system's in order.
Dad's in charge of the power. I love it. So, Tyler?
Well, I think Jesse dropped the mic there. That should have been the end of the episode.
That's true.
There. No, I don't need much when I go outdoors. I honestly, I don't think I really have a piece of gear. If I've got my wife, my dog, and my boy, like I'm pretty set. We'll just get out there and make the best of it. Sorry for the boring
I'm
answer.
count the dog as your gear, okay? Taking the dog as a gear, that works for me. So, fantastic, guys. Hey, we hope your next show goes great, Tyler and Jesse. Thank you so much for dropping some knowledge on us today. That was fantastic. Absolutely. If you are a listener of the show, Sierra Rex, thank you for being with us today. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of idea of powering up in the wilderness with no generators and all that jazz we talked about today. And if you love Battleborn, give them a love downstairs. Say Battleborn's awesome. Let people know. Give them a little review in our comments, you will. So wherever you're at today, we hope to see yours in your future, that the sky is blue, and that you are feeling blessed. Have a great day wherever you're at. We hope to see you in the mountains soon.